Support for Another Round comes from Squarespace. Start building your own website today at squarespace.com. Enter offer code Another Round at checkout and get 10% off. It's your birthday. Yay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heben.
I'm Tracy.
Wow. And welcome to Another Round with Heben and Tracy. We out here elongating shit.
That was beautiful. We should do that every time.
Yo, Tracy, we have such a great show today.
I'm excited. What's going on?
So, first of all, we are bringing back little-known Black history facts and little-known white history heroes by popular demand.
So if you didn't hear the first installment of these two
Get your life
sections,
together.
Specifically white history heroes, I may not physically make it through this edition. I died twice in the studio last time. Matt Belisai is so hilarious. So
Our Caucasity correspondent is stopping through. We also have Julianne Shepard on. We're going to talk all things Kanye album.
Ooh, yay.
Don't sound so excited. And we're really excited to have Vann Newkirk on, aka 5/5 on Twitter, aka just that nigga from Twitter. So a jam-packed show.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
All right, friends, Black History Month is coming to a close, but it's not over yet. We still have much more celebrating to do and much more knowledge to receive. Earlier this month, we broke you off a piece of little-known Black history facts. All the stuff that is not in your history books, which is basically everything. There's nothing in your history books.
Oh, depressed laugh.
So we got some more for you, so let's get into it.
Heben and Tracy read a list.
So first up we have Pauletta Pooh Spencer. Once again, that's Pauletta Pooh Spencer. Was the first person to create baby hair by using gel in an old toothbrush. Old school.
I'm so glad because I have so many baby hairs. I'm glad someone was like, let me make something out of this.
Yo, baby hair is lush.
It
It's
is
very
too
nice.
much.
No such thing as too much baby hair.
Well, I'm glad that Pauletta,
I think you mean Pooh, as she is known.
excuse me, paved the way.
Next up, Courtney Flo Ellis was the first person to inquire as to where Brooklyn at. Yo, why come nobody ever knows where Brooklyn is? Y'all been here for how long?
Locate Brooklyn.
Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Seriously, where is Brooklyn? Is it this way?
Gotta
How do
go
I
home.
get there? What train do I catch? What train do I catch? Figure it out, New Yorkers. Oh, man. Dwayne Freeman was the first person to yell, "Ooh, this is my jam," when his
What did
song
people
came on
do
at the club.
before?
I know. Did they just dance
They
and not
just
announce
stood
it? That's awkward and inappropriate.
You must announce how you feel on the dance floor.
Janet Miles Query was the first person to tell somebody they play too much. Great, play too much.
I use that so much.
Yeah, and I love how versatile a phrase that is because you can say it when somebody's like being goofy. So like, girl, you play too much. Or when like you really about to fight somebody. It's like, ooh, you play too much. So versatile. Next up, we have Peter Sweet Pete Warsh.
What?
The streets knew him as Sweet Pete. And he was the first person to shorten the pet name Babe to Bay.
Aw,
White people, y'all don't even know about him. You stole his word
that was
and
centuries
you
ago.
ruined it. Apologize to Sweet Pete.
My favorite is when they make up an acronym for this.
Oh, they're just like, oh my God, this means before anyone else.
That's crazy.
No, you can't.
Why would you say before anyone else to anyone?
Right.
You
Ooh,
are my
girl, you
before
are my
anyone
before
else.
anyone else. That is so
Grammatically doesn't
so
even make
dumb.
sense.
Do your research, white people. Oh, this is important. Quintessa Higgins was the first person to use the phrase girl bye to
Oh.
dismiss someone.
That's history right there.
I know. Fun fact, in Louisville, we say girl boo instead of girl bye.
What?
Girl boo.
I love that.
Yeah, we should make it a thing up here too.
Girl boo. I like it. I like it.
Next up, we have Oris O'Nasty Flowers.
Oh my goodness.
He was a player back in the day. He's the first person to hit on a woman by asking, Where your man at?
Oh my God.
Hate the dude. How dare
Yeah.
you? And finally, we have young Miss Notoria. Don't hate me because you ain't me, baby. Just congratulate me. Off it.
Oh my God.
Who was the first person to have a ridiculously long and foolish middle name on Facebook. Shame on you all.
Trendsetter. Someone had to start it.
No.
Someone.
Who will be the one to end it is the question. Maybe it's you.
You too can put an end to name
You
fires.
must. So.
Put an end to name fires on Facebook.
I hope you enjoyed our highly informative Little Known Black History facts. If you did and you want more, you are in luck because there is an entire Tumblr dedicated to it. It goes back, I think, 5 years or so. That address is littleknownblackhistoryfacts.tumblr.com. And you should also check out the BuzzFeed post, the 18 best Little Known Black History Facts, and look at the artwork because a really, really dope artist named Xavier Payne illustrated them, and they are beautiful. I want to print them out and frame them. So, as you know, whenever you mention Black History Month, there is a white person in the background somewhere screaming about White History Month. So we decided to be very generous to said people again and welcome back our white history expert, Mr. Matt Belisai, to tell us about some more white history heroes. Welcome, welcome.
Back again, drunk again, bringing my knowledge.
The Matt Belisai story. All right. Who are some white people we should be celebrating? Who are the white heroes of Black History Month?
The unsung white heroes.
Logan Beer Can.
Why is his last name just Beer Can?
That's what it's. I don't know where the origin of that is. So
Oh
it's real.
my gosh, okay.
First person to say the words, I can't be racist because I don't even see color. That's Logan.
Logan Beer Can.
Trendsetter.
Claire Clarelson. First person to identify as 10% French, 20% Scandi Croatian, 40% Native Floridian, and 10% Mayonnaisian.
Y'all, they be listing everything.
They do. Oh, I'm not white. List a bunch of white.
5 European countries. Ma'am.
She set the trend. Now we can't just say we're white.
Gotta list the
We have
percentages.
to list it out.
Oh my gosh.
Tanner Von Trapp III. First person to refer to the United States as the U.S. of A. Or,
Baby, doing that.
or these United States.
Wait, for those at home taking notes, what was his name again?
Tanner Von Trapp III.
Third.
Declan McDucklin. First person to threaten to kill his family because they took away his fucking Xbox.
Oh my God.
He really set the standard on that one. Declan McDucklin. He actually comes, his pictures in every Xbox handbook.
How to fight your family.
What to do. And the final white history hero, Heather McDumplin. I don't know why all of these people are Irish, but they are. First person to say, I have a black friend, in reference to their dentist.
Oh my God.
I don't really know what I meant by that one.
Yo, I can definitely tell when I am someone's black friend.
Can you? How can you tell?
Because their name is Matt Belisai.
Besides Matt. No, you can just tell they have way too many questions. It's like, oh, no one else in your life is providing some answers for you. They just have a preponderance of questions. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for stopping by, Matt. Where can the people find your work?
Sorry, I was taking a shot. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook as Matt Belisai. Bellass-AI. That's how you spell my last name.
Yo, thank you so much for stopping by, Matt.
Thank you.
You've done
Thank
a great
you both.
service for the community. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
So now joining us for a conversation about all things Kanye West, everything from his music, his fashion, to Kanye West himself as a public persona, the tweets, etc., is Julianne Escobedo-Shepherd. She's the culture editor at Jezebel. You've created like a nice little nook over there where you write some dope things. You're at Rookie. She's an adjunct at the NYU Clive Davis Institute for Recorded Music.
Ooh.
Yes.
I see you, girl. And honestly, just like one of the best like pop culture writers, I think.
What up? What up?
So Kanye has a new album called The Life of Pablo. It had a million other names before that, and it had been teased for like basically a year and a half. It's been Yeezy season for a long time, is what I'm saying. As of this taping, the album is not officially out yet, but it's streaming on Tidal. That's the only way you can listen to it, which is rude. But all right, Kanye. But Kanye premiered the Life of Pablo in a very unique way. He had a sold-out show at Madison Square Garden that was basically like a giant listening party. Plus, he debuted his new fashion line, Yeezy Season 3 there. But talking about this fashion stuff it comes up a lot in his music. One of the reoccurring topics definitely seems to be there's these very specific spaces that you guys are not letting me in. Everyone else get angry with me.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you make of the album?
So I'm still absorbing the album.
Yeah, same.
But I agree. I think that he's really embracing his contradictions. And I think that he's channeling this idea that he wants to be Steve Jobs. And, you know, these people who are Steve Jobs basically now, or at least tech people and high fashion people, are viewing him skeptically and not letting him in. One, I can't speak to the tech world, but specifically in the fashion world, like, it is not easy to be a black model in the fashion world, much less a black designer. And that's changing incrementally a little bit, but it's still like, and then when you're an outsider or perceived to be an outsider, then double that. So I think that he's really bumped up against a lot of naysayers that way. And I think that's very real. I think that if you read people on Twitter, they think like, oh, Kanye, like, I think that's real, super real.
Yeah.
One of the earlier tracks in the album, he says something like, I'd be scared if they're not talking about me. And I feel like that's what so much of this is designed to do. And he's not just dumbly putting on lyrics about Taylor and Ray J. I think he's seriously like, oh, this is going to go viral, cause controversy, and will keep me relevant, I guess. Maybe he's not consciously thinking of that, but
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to say nothing. Everybody gonna say something. I'll be worried if they say nothing.
So what are you most excited about on this album right now?
you know, the production is incredible. And I think that he, even though other people, you know, help him produce it, I think that he has like a very incredible vision and he's taking it. I just think it's just more succinct. The Metro Boomin track, the second track, is like the best beat I've ever heard in my life.
Yes. When it came on, I was like, shit, I need to be in a car. This is bumping.
I know.
Beautiful morning, you're the sun of my morning, babe. Nothing in the water.
We should definitely talk about the gospel parts of this. I mean, the entire album. He called it a gospel album.
He did call it a gospel album.
Let me say, I love gospel music. I grew up Southern Baptist. I like the music more so than like the church part. Like that was like the big appeal for going to church for me. And the first time I heard this album, like I heard it without knowing that he described it as a gospel album. And I heard it and I was like, there's a lot of gospel influence in here. Like the gospel choir on Ultralight Beam, for example, which is like my favorite song on the album. He brought Kirk Franklin back. What? Excuse me?
We on a ultralight beam. We on a ultralight beam. This is a God dream. This is a God dream. This is everything. Everything. I'm trying to keep my faith.
Ultralight Beams so far is still my favorite because it's so good. But he's just curating on it, essentially. It's like, who doesn't want to hear like a Kelly Price and like gospel choir, and
Yes.
even The Dream sounds amazing on it. Like,
The
and
Dream
and
sounds
Chance
so
Chance.
pops on. Yes.
Chance to me is the star of this entire album.
Yeah.
This is my part, nobody else speak. This little light of mine. Glory be to God, yeah. I'ma make sure that they go where they can't go. If they don't wanna ride, I'ma still give them raincoats. Know what God said when he made the first rainbow? Just notice at the end if I'm too late for the intro. I'm just having fun with it.
So Kanye tweeted about how Pablo refers to Paul the Apostle, not Pablo Picasso, not Pablo Escobar, and that how he was the most sort of successful of all the apostles because he was, you know, people could understand him and he was out here, I guess. But
As they say.
Paul was out here.
As far as it being like a gospel album, I'm not really buying it because gospel, as I know it, is meant to like testify and like praise God for his or her goodness, like whatever your particular God is. God, grace, and salvation, right? But I feel like this only works as a gospel album if the God being praised is Kanye, which maybe that's how he meant it. And then sure, then maybe it's a gospel album. But as far as like the genre goes, I'm not buying it.
Wait, what do you mean? I feel like the album's about faith and salvation and everything you just listed. It very much feels to me like he's like, I'm dealing with all these things. Not all of them are related, so some of these thoughts are jumbled.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really trying to keep to my faith.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not like the main. That's not like the meat of the album. You know what I mean? Like in the discussion of somebody's like personal struggles and like a personal testimony, that's one thing. But like talking about, you know, if I have sex with this model who just bleached her asshole, and you know what I mean? Like Bobby Jones ain't gonna be like, yeah, sure.
I feel like anyone can call their album a gospel album.
Oh yeah, they can. They definitely can. I'm just saying, like the tradition of gospel music as I know it, like this is not included in the margin.
I mean, I know nothing, so I trust your judgment.
I do like the idea of Kanye sort of grappling with things. I'm not sure if I like all of the ways that he does it, but I also like the idea of thinking about him writing this album and contemplating the fact that he's now a 2-time dad,
Yeah, I love the way that he talks about his family on this album.
interspersed with talking about like fucking
Yeah.
models with bleached assholes.
Yeah,
One of the sloppier lines.
yeah,
Terrible.
it's really bad.
I feel like this is the first time he's really more openly talked about what might be called depression.
Yeah.
Because he's talked about it in interviews immediately after his mom died, but nowhere else really. And he like, if you're on first name basis with Lexapro,
Yo.
Yeah,
there's something going on.
yeah,
But I also hate to be like a armchair diagnoser.
Yeah. Right.
There's
Because
a lot
I
of
feel
that
like that's
surrounding Kanye.
yeah, that's really, I don't know. I feel like it's so stripping.
Yeah, it's also
Right.
really dangerous too. Like that you can just throw like actual medical illnesses and situations around that way without actually understanding it. Like, I mean, it fucks it up for the rest of us who actually are dealing with things that we've been
Right.
diagnosed with.
Right. I feel like I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and, you know, trying to really saying like, oh, Kanye's really manic right now. And it's like, we don't have any idea. And also when he shouted out Lexapro, I heard that line at MSG and I was like, yes.
Shout out to Lexapro.
Shout out to Lexapro because literally that shit keeps me going.
Amen.
And like,
Amen.
Maybe if he would come on our show, we could talk about it.
yeah. Kanye.
But I think for me, often why I don't even want to talk about Kanye with people is because I associate it with my own depression or what I don't want to, again, not armchair diagnosing. But he talks a lot about pulling from those dark, sad places.
Right.
And I wish I had faith for that, but I just don't believe. I feel like that's a thing Kanye gives me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lexapro.
Yeah, shout out to Lexapro. It's so relatable to think of like you go off Lexapro and that shit does something to you. But also when he was tweeting, he's probably still tweeting right now. He's been tweeting like intermittently every half hour for the past 3 days. And I was just like, this dude seems really lonely to me, honestly, because like he has all these ideas, and obviously he's wants to share them with his fans and people who love him. And I taught a class of high schoolers on Saturday, and they worship him. Like he is like, we're a little older than like these like high school juniors, but so maybe it's different because they've grown up with him just being like the most important, but like it is every single move. So like to hear him talk about these things, it's really important, I think. And I think that adults sort of miss that because because we're like, oh, what's going on with Kanye? Like, but when he's like tweeting about like, don't give up on your dreams, it's like that means a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's another part of the reason why I find the armchair diagnosis insulting. You're mistaking someone dreaming out loud for like you're clinically something is happening with you.
Yeah.
That's so insulting.
It is.
To like your whole humanity.
Yeah.
I feel like he's working out his thoughts or his relationship to the word crazy on this album.
Yeah, true.
Play me. Name one genius that ain't crazy.
Okay, so for me, Kanye has always been a really, really polarizing figure on a lot of different fronts. And for me, I think one of the biggest fronts is the misogyny. I mean, there's the Taylor line in the music where he's talking about making that bitch famous and like having sex with her one day. And there's the Bill Cosby tweet where he just tweeted Bill Cosby innocent in all capital letters with at least 3 exclamation points, possibly 4. And then
sorry.
No, go ahead.
But then there's also the lyric and facts where he says, do anybody feel bad for Bill Cosby? Did he forget the names just like Steve Harvey?
It's hard because it's like he's always had like a little bit of misogyny, I feel, but like it's just like, what is going on? Like the Bill Cosby shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
right. Like, what? And then there's like all the stuff that he says repeatedly about Amber Rose, repeatedly. And I don't know if it's beginning to be too much for me. I mean, we all listen to like a lot of really problematic music, right? Especially if you like rap and hip hop.
Your favorite is problematic.
Your favorite is very, very problematic. So it's not that I can't listen to music with misogynistic lyrics. I listen to some horrible shit a lot and I dance real hard to it. But lately I'm just like, I don't know how long I can rock with this for music that doesn't excite me as much as it used to, you know?
We all choose our lines.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Has Kanye crossed the line for you?
Yeah, I really don't know. I really can't tell.
We have to talk about the Taylor Swift moment.
Yeah.
yes.
So someone is lying here. Kanye says he got approval for the line in Famous where he says,
that know me best. I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. God damn. I made that bitch famous.
he says Taylor approved the line.
Yeah.
So then Taylor's people said she did not by any means approve this.
Right.
And she warned him to not put something so misogynistic out there. So someone's lying.
Yeah. Who do you think is lying?
I feel like it might be somewhere in the middle, honestly. Taylor's people are notoriously protective of her paper. And if she's out there being like, yeah, it's okay, like that's escándalo, like her fucking fans are gonna be like, Taylor has sex or whatever. And it's like a big thing. So like, but I mean, they're friends, right? I think they're friends. Or
You think Taylor and Kanye are friends?
I've heard they hang out sometimes and it's like all good.
Maybe this is all a plot by both of them. They're like, hey, how can we make this moment that happened years ago still pay off cutes in the news? Tell you what, I'm gonna say some bullshit about you, and then you can be like, I didn't tell them to say that, and then I get my controversy, and then you look great.
Yeah.
I don't
then
think
award
so.
shows.
No, that doesn't seem like, but that would be good. They like ride out laughing into the sunset. They're like just throwing money around.
in a convertible, riding off into the sunset.
But I do think that moment cemented him in white America's mind.
Oh, absolutely.
It didn't make her famous, the moment where he stole her VMA moment to talk about Beyonce.
Right.
Listen, I wasn't listening to her music before that. Like, I didn't know who the hell. I mean, that's not like my music zone, and I know people who like listen to her. And, like, but I wasn't like, I was like, okay, like she won this thing. Like, I don't think that he's responsible for her fame, but I think that it furthered her in the public consciousness.
The Kanye Taylor stuff, man, it's just so hard for for doubly or triply conscious people in America. Like, because talk about a time when you have to decide whether to be a woman or to be black and then not be able to do it. You know, it's like, he's fucking over Taylor right now. That's not cool. But Taylor is doing her, oh, woe is me,
Oh my God.
thing.
Every time she does that, I'm like, you grew up on a Christmas tree farm. Like, you can't even get more, like, super privileged and blessed than that. Like, it's like a magical fairy has tended to your nanny shit.
Right.
But yeah, I feel that. Like, how do you navigate that? Because obviously a lot of Kanye's misogyny has been directed towards Black women in the past. And so, like, but I think that there are multitudes in this specific situation where it's like he sort of tries to draw, and has been since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, drawing on the history of Black men being vilified and lynched for even talking to white women. And so I think that there's a lot of history in that Taylor line, but then also it's like, God, come on, dog.
Yeah, I did feel also just like a cheap trick.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and also, like, what is Kim thinking right now? I listened to that album and that was my man. I'd be like, all right, you're out of here. You're sleeping in the guest house for at least 3 weeks. Like,
I did find myself thinking that a lot during this album. This conversation with you has already been better than like 1,000% of the writing I've read about him.
Absolutely.
Like, it feels informed. There's background. Who knew you could do that with a Kanye review?
oh my God.
But Kanye did tweet recently to Pitchfork, Rolling Stone, New York Times, and any other white publication, please do not comment on Black music anymore. One, yes.
We can't erase the Black people or people of color writing for white publications.
Come on our
also,
show, Kanye.
yeah, Kanye. No, seriously, someone tweeted like, well, that's cool, but when are you going to go talk to a Black publication? Like, you're granting interviews to like New York Times and to W that like,
Yeah,
you know, are,
W, come on.
yeah.
Kanye, please come on our show. We come correct. Thank you so much for sitting with us and giving us all your knowledge. I hope you spread this wisdom for everyone throughout the land.
I'm sure you will.
Because we need more Kanye writing like this.
Yes.
Like this Kanye speaking.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where can people find you and your work?
Jezebel.com. You can tweet me at Jawnita, Jawnita.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you for coming by and listening to me ramble, because this is not a conversation I have a lot. I'm just always like, Kanye makes me feel weird. But he makes good song music, so.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to take a break to pay some bills, and when we get back, we will be talking to the one and only Mr. Vann R. Newkirk II, a.k.a. Webby Du Bois. Genius.
Support for another round comes from Squarespace. With Squarespace, sites look professionally designed regardless of your skill level. They take the guesswork out of the complicated stuff. Which brings us to a little thing we call the search result drinking game. The rules are simple, Tracy. I'll present you with 2 search results, and you'll have to guess which one was searched more on the internet. If you guess wrong, you drink. Duh. So, I'm going to give you 2 options. You have to tell me which was the most searched thing on the internet.
Okay.
Which one was searched more? Am I dying or am I living?
Oh my God, am I dying? I wonder that several times a day.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That is incorrect. No! People are out here in these streets searching, am I living?
What does that even mean? People, get your lives together. I'm worried for you.
I don't know. Maybe they're having an existential crisis. Am I really living or am I just existing?
Like, am I alive or am I just living? You know what? I feel that. I ask myself that question also several times a day. All right, I lost. I drink. Here we go.
Start your free trial today at squarespace.com. The site is intuitive and the tools are easy to use and there's no coding required. And if you sign up for a year, you get a completely free domain. When you sign up, make sure to use the offer code ANOTHERROUND to get 10% off your first purchase.
Y'all, we wanted to have our next guest on the show because he is very smart and he's very hilarious. And he's one of the few people that I think I know who's really into Afrofuturism, which I have a lot of questions about.
Ooh.
He writes his ass off. I think I see like 17 new articles from this dude a week. He tweets as 5 Fists on Twitter, and if you are not following him, then you are not using Twitter correctly.
Facts.
Please consult your Twitter manual. He is the co-founder of the site 7 Scribes, and I'm very excited to hear more about that too. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mr. Vann Newkirk the second.
Yeah, thanks
What up,
for
what
having
up?
me.
Hey,
The
thanks
first
for
time I
joining
met
us.
you, it was at the National Association of Black Journalists conference.
Indeed.
And a girl went up to him, was like, yo, you're that nigga from Twitter.
Yes.
So I didn't want that to be his bio, but he's that nigga from Twitter.
No, that's going on my tombstone. That nigga from Twitter.
Put it on your resume too.
How long have you been on Twitter? What's the story behind your name?
So I've been on Twitter since 2009. Actually, I joined a couple weeks before MJ died. And I actually don't remember my original screen name, but I think right around the time when MJ died, I switched it to 5 Fifths. I was like really woke as a 20-year-old. Like, you know, my third eye was wide open. I was like levitating. Woke. And so 5 Fifths, you know, I was thinking a 3/5 compromise with the black folks counting as less than one vote. And I was thinking, I was doing like field work in South Carolina and was like, okay, I want to represent my full wokeness. So 5 Fifths. And I just tell people I like fractions too.
Yeah. That's
Does
super
anyone
cool.
believe that?
Nobody.
A lot of
likes
people actually
fractions.
think that I'm like a math person. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
but you're actually a science person, right?
Yeah.
Why did that happen? I don't know people who like science in my like actual life.
Why did that happen?
As is, I think, customary for most sort of smart black kids in the South, I had 2 career options. One was being a doctor and one was being a lawyer. And so I was supposed to be a doctor. And I did doctor things until I was maybe 21 and decided I was not going to be a doctor. And my family disowned me. So, yeah.
Like literally disowned you?
My grandmother stopped returning my calls for like 2 years.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Where are you from?
From Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Yeah, it is.
Yay.
You've probably never been there.
No. But I know where North Carolina is though. I know
That's
it's
good.
in the
That's
South.
good.
So
Yeah.
you get points with me. So wow. She was really invested in you being a doctor.
Everyone was. When the whole, I let the whole hood down. And
Oh,
when you let
man.
the hood down, they let you know. Yeah.
What do you mean?
So I was the first person that was supposed to be a doctor, and that's a big deal, right? There's like a coronation thing for all the people that's supposed to be doctors. I was supposed to come back and bring prestige to the town.
Why
And
doctor instead of lawyer?
I had a speech impediment. I couldn't read good. Lawyer just wasn't going to work for me. Yeah.
But now you're a writer.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Houseway.
I practice a lot, and I started blogging because I was really woke. I started blogging about this really big racist incident in my high school that's picked up into more blogging, and I ended up doing.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
There was a march by all the black students in my high school because the white students marched to protest the fact that we had to actually go watch a play during MLK Day instead of having the day completely off.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa,
Yeah, yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa. That was their movement.
Yes.
Because as Martin Luther King marched,
So did
shall they.
Yes.
you know what? Whenever I think about like, whenever I see like tweets from people talking about reverse racism and like white oppression, and I'm like, what? How are you oppressed? This is always the kind of answer that I envision.
I had to go to a
We
play
had to go
once.
see a play on King's Day. This is my time. I do what I want.
They still had the rest of the day.
They had the rest of the damn day off.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so the black students had a counter protest.
Yeah. Well, it started.
How many of them were you?
Like 8
Oh,
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of
out of 600.
oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I understand.
We protested our asses off, though,
I
all 8 of us. So,
understand.
yeah.
So we went from this wild protest situation to you started like that's your impetus to start blogging.
Right.
Talk to me though about overcoming the hurdles to being a writer, because you said that you had some I guess speech impediment wouldn't really keep you from writing, but the
Dyslexia.
reading, yeah.
Yeah. It's still a challenge today. And it's never not going to be a challenge. But yeah, I just practice. And I have dyslexic friends who help me out with my sort of tics, the things I get hung up on. And it's really about just memorizing a lot of what you do badly. So I'm terrible at mixing up there and there, so much so that I will never ever mix it up in anything that you see, because I like
You're,
check
like hyper aware of it.
hyper
Yeah.
aware
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. So
That sounds so laborious because writing alone can be torturous. It's torturous for me. Like just the labor of like formulating your sentences and like the self-editor that you have to fight. So it's very amazing and remarkable to me that you write so much. I was on Seven Scribes the other day, and I really love that y'all have the little section that shows pictures of all the writers and like how many articles they have.
yeah.
You have 20. Everybody else has like 2 or 3.
Tell the people a little more about what Seven Scribes is.
Okay,
How
well,
it started.
Seven Scribes, we are I don't even know if I can say new anymore. It's always been the tagline. Is we're about a year old now. A site geared towards millennials of color, of course, curated, edited, and owned by Black millennials. And what we do a lot of is sort of things that may not have traction elsewhere. So things that don't have to be really hard-hitting, immediate news analyses. Like if you want to write about a blacksmith who is one of the last blacksmiths in Sweden, we have the space for that. And we think that it enriches the space and allows people, especially people of color, to expand and explore. And we do a lot of advocacy for young writers who, you know, I think a lot of people get exploited in this freelance environment.
Oh my God.
What do you
And-
mean?
Well, it's especially for Black folks. We see this happen all the time when they write some bullshit article, and an editor's like, "Yeah, that's good. We're gonna run that because it's Black, and we need this content, right?" And they get put out, and then there's a backlash, and you don't get any bylines anymore because Black Twitter is like, "Nah, fuck you." So, yeah, that's usually like the life cycle for a lot of Black freelancers. Is you get 2 or 3 bad bylines, and you're out of here.
That's
So we get a
crazy.
lot of questions about like how to make it as a writer. Have you had any like meaningful good advice on that front, or have some to give to other people?
Yeah, so I think the big thing is, especially if you're getting started, and this is this mistake that I made as well, if you're getting started, there's always an emphasis for a lot of folks. I have to write every day. I have to get this put out every day. I have to get people to get their eyes on it. I have to build up my name, you know, piece by piece by piece. This is a linear path.
Yeah.
I have to build a beat. I have to get good at these things. And I think none of those things are true. I think the first thing about writing is to get better at writing, you need to be self-reflective. And that includes knowing when not to write and knowing when you're good and how you're good and what makes you good. And I don't think volume is always the case.
You're one to speak, sir.
I write a lot, but I think in my case, it's what makes me, like, the act of writing about one thing will trigger my thoughts on something else. But if that doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. And I think people sort of subscribe to all these one-size-fits-all pieces of advice. And I think part of it is just exploration, and the beauty is in the journey and the exploration. This is very hippie sounding. I realize this, but writing, the whole point of it is learning yourself and learning and delving into what makes you you. So don't take that journey for granted. Enjoy it, cherish it, relish it.
It was beautiful.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how often you change your Twitter name.
It's actually my name now. It's Vann Newkirk.
Oh, you are
Yeah.
professional.
Oh, shit. Wait, sorry.
Well,
what was,
Vann R. Newkirk the second.
Oh.
excuse
Yes.
me. But at one point it was Webby Du Bois.
Yes, it was Webby Du Bois.
There's this tweet you actually wrote, but it was attributed to W.E.B. Du Bois, not Webby Du Bois, W.E.B. the one.
But because of your Twitter name, everybody thought that it came from the actual Du Bois.
Yes.
What happened?
So actually, if you Google W.E.B. Du Bois and you Google
I already
W.E.B.
love
Du Bois
this.
I'm going to do this right
Quotes.
now.
and you Google this quote, "A system cannot fail those it was never built to protect." That quote is actually attributed to W.E.B. Du Bois on like official quotes, you know, those quotes, whatever, AZ websites.
Right.
It's on those as attributed to him. I tweeted that after, and this is the sad part of the story, after we realized George Zimmerman was not going to face any real consequence. And I tweeted that. It got picked up. Rihanna did not retweet it. She kind of quote tweeted and didn't put me in the tweet, but
She
it's all good.
She stole your quote.
Yeah, Rihanna stole my tweet. But it's all good. Like Chris Rock at one point tweeted it. It had like thousands and thousands of retweets, and people over time just started misattributing it very quickly. So it wasn't even W.E.B. Du Bois at first. It was like Meek Mill tweeted it without giving me credit, so people said Meek Mill said it. So I'm so serious. People thought Meek Mill said something. Yeah.
So to clarify, this quote, "A system cannot fail those it was never meant to protect," is something that came from your actual brain.
Right.
And I just Googled it, and all over the internet. I'm on Democratic Underground right now. They got this quote talking about Du Bois said it. This is hilarious.
This is the power of Twitter, right? And the power of this community and family that we have. It's
my
actually
God.
on a couple of people's tombstones. And they sent me those. Yeah.
What?
They sent me on their tombstone over their name is that quote. And
What does that feel like?
it was 2 active service members who were actually killed in duty. And
Oh my
they had it
God.
put over their tombstones. And I still can't process it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are at the Atlantic now.
Yeah.
And you were recruited by a one Mr. Ta-Nehisi Coates, if I heard that correctly.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Talk to me about this,
Tell
sir.
me that
Talk
damn
to me.
story.
So I'd, been in contact somewhat with the editors. There was some of a courtship. I was unsure about whether I was going to leave my current position because it's been so it hasn't been a long time. I just started, and Ta-Nehisi, he messaged me and was like, I really hope you come, and I've seen your work. They've all seen your work, and they love it. And this is like Kanye at the end of Last Call, where
Where he's talking to Jay-Z.
he's talking to Jay-Z. He's like, "You think we get that contract with Rockefeller Music?" And I'm like, I've never felt that special. I didn't know that my writing resonated with people in that way, and that's a huge affirmation.
Word.
And I couldn't like breathe. I was. My wife Kay came in and found me on the couch, just like with my hands folded over my chest.
Oh, it's the big one. It's the big one,
yeah.
Elizabeth.
I almost didn't make it.
Oh. Okay, so I want to switch gears to talk about sci-fi, fantasy, and Afrofuturism because I do not know the difference between the three.
Okay, so I actually don't really distinguish science fiction from fantasy that much anymore. What's the real difference between like a science fiction novel where people are doing this science stuff that's basically magic that doesn't exist versus a story where people are using magic? It's just, one represents a fictionalized present, one or a future, one represents a fictionalized past. Afrofuturism is taking all those things, all that speculative fiction in all different genres and putting on like the classic Black, not just Black American, but the diaspora, putting that twist and that voice on those things. So instead of The Wizard of Oz, which is a very classic fantasy / sci-fi novel and movie, we get The Wiz, which if you've seen the live one, The Wiz has all types of, we got Black Salvation in that thing. We got a choir coming up.
Yes.
We got robots. We got everything in that. And it's a beautiful just fusion. It's like a gumbo, right? Yeah. It's beautiful.
I believe it's Junot Diaz, but I gotta look it up. He has this quote about how science fiction pulls so much from African American struggle, like to understand that this abstract group of humans are oppressed and this particular institution is fighting them in this way, like pulls from real historical things that have happened to Black people, but you never see Black people in science fiction.
Right.
That's just crazy.
Which
It's
is
crazy, right?
wild when you consider that with science fiction, you get to control everything, the entire
You can
universe.
make up anything.
You put whoever you want in the story. And even in this fake ass land, I can't get like a little
That's
little
not
piece.
realistic.
They wouldn't have brown elves.
Right.
Now,
What
come
is
on.
this?
We can have
What is
dragons,
this?
but these Black people, no.
No way. Nobody's going to believe that, guys. You wrote this super, super dope piece about this on Seven Scribes about how The Wiz is a subversive political act, and it sounded really smart, but there's a lot that I didn't understand. So
Okay.
can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Okay. So I think anytime when you take something that is all white, like The Wizard of Oz is, and you make it all Black, that's very political. So it changes, I think, And it's not just a swap, a one-for-one swap, white folks or black folks. It's not just that. So in The Wiz, we have a really, anytime, the Munchkins are sort of enslaved, right? The Munchkins are slaves in any version of the story. They're slaves to the witch. In a black story, that becomes a very different message.
Right.
We're talking about someone coming in and becoming a black woman also. A black woman, her self-awareness and self-belief becomes this revolutionary thing for these Munchkins who are enslaved. And also in The Wiz, they sort of make it like an industrial slavery. So they're actually working for the witch. Now, that's a very strong allegory, I think. Yeah, and you know, the whole thing about the ruby slippers, in the regular story, the ruby slippers represent the fact that it was always in her all along, right? For a black woman, that's so revolutionary. The power is within you all along. And I think that's just beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Right? We will put this piece in the newsletter as well. The newsletter is just going to be a bunch of your stories, apparently.
Who are you in The Wiz? Are you in want of a heart, of courage, of
A brain.
of the
Or a
other
home.
one, of a home? Yeah.
I think
Good question.
I identify with the lion. I don't think I'm a coward, but I think the lion's problem is that masculinity is so fragile, right? He conflates a lot of like being brash and like just fighting people with real courage. And I think that's something I'm still trying to examine and break out of. So
Let's move on to our rapid fire question segment. Pew, 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 pew. These are finger guns.
oh yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. First question. Do you identify as a member of Team Natural?
Yes, I do.
What is your routine, your hair routine?
Ooh.
What are your holy grail products?
Holy Grail products for me are the Shea Moisture Raw Shea shampoo. It's really good. Also the matching conditioner. There's a grapefruit moisture locking thing I use from Jane Carter. It's beautiful.
Yo, Jane Carter,
Jane
you all
Carter.
woke as hell when it comes to the hair products.
I love hearing men talk about natural hair.
Me too. So do you twist? You just watch and go?
I started doing twists recently. My hair's really thick, so it's really hard to twist.
Yeah.
So most times wash and go. Yeah.
There was
It
this
looks
great
very
moment
nice.
on Twitter where everyone was tweeting about stealing your girl's satin
Yo,
bonnet.
I was going to bring that up. I hope that becomes like a widespread thing.
Steal your girl's satin bonnet.
Pictures of dudes, like big ass dudes in like little purple silky lacy bonnets. It's
Take
the
care
most
of your
beautiful
hair,
thing.
gentlemen.
Yes,
I wore-
absolutely.
I wore my wife's bonnet before I went to my last job interview. I got the job. That's all I'm saying.
Bam.
That's all I'm saying.
There's a correlation.
Yes.
Yes.
So speaking of how great your hair looks, please tell the people about Do-Rag History Week.
Oh my God, it's the best thing. That
Iconic.
Has come of Twitter. It really is.
I woke up one day and said, this week's going to be Do-Rag History Week.
Is that literally how it
That
happened?
is literally how it happened.
Yes.
Yes.
I love this origin story so much.
That was my first tweet that day. And after that, I tweeted a picture of Sammy Davis Jr. counting money in a dressing room
With a do-rag.
in a do-rag.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the pictures that people were finding, like actual pictures of like actual historical celebrities actually wearing do-rags. I was like, y'all gotta be photoshopping this shit.
No, this was legendary. Like, I actually saw 1946 pictures of do-rags. Like, I saw like family histories of do-rags, like people's grandparents wearing do-rags. It was really special. Yeah.
It's like the family crest. The black family
The family
crest.
do-rag.
So you wrote this great article for BuzzFeed called Why Do-Rag History Week is More Than a Joke on the anniversary of Do-Rag History Week
So
a year
beautiful.
later.
And the cool thing about the article is that, you know, something as irreverent as like a do-rag and jokes on Twitter about do-rags, you took and spun into like this beautiful account of like how Black people congregate in like online public spaces and how the function of like humor and laughter and like this kind of bonding like really helps to like cement us all together.
So we'll put a link to this in our newsletter, and you should note the art for this essay has a picture of George Washington
Crossing the Delaware River.
crossing the Delaware River in a fucking do-rag. It's incredible.
So suggest some writers who do some good Black writers who do sci-fi, Afrofuturism stuff. The only person that I could think of, well, the only two people that I know of are Octavia Butler and Cassie Lehman. So who are some other writers people should check out
So
if they're wanting to like break into the genre?
Okay, I think the biggest one for me is Elia Dawn Johnson, and she is a wonderful writer. And I'm actually blanking on the title of her latest book, but it centers on a Afrofuturistic Brazil. And it's got, everything you'd want. And it's actually a young adult story. So, I feel like when you want to get your low-key young adult on in the train.
I'm in.
Yeah, so she's my big recommendation. She's incredible.
Love that.
Amazing.
Is there a 90s trend that's come back that you actually like that it came back?
I like the high tops.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You're talking about the shoes or the fade?
Both.
Ooh,
we'll go with both. Yeah.
Okay.
But I love high top fades. And
Yes.
if my head wasn't so weird shape, I'd have one.
I was about to say you have the perfect hair for a high top.
Yeah, I could cut it, but it wouldn't look right.
Yo,
I think it's okay.
there
I
was,
don't want to
okay.
make that mistake of getting the cut and then I'm like, damn.
Shouldn't have done that.
there was a story on Marketplace about the trend of the high top fade.
Oh
Listen.
my God.
I listen to Marketplace. I need some economic wisdom. Sure. I got so upset about this article. I still think about it. I think it was from like 2012 or something. Let me tell you why I was upset. One, they suggested like this person spends $500 a month on product and weekly shape-ups.
Nah, B.
Who did you talk to? $500 a month?
My haircuts for a regular cut are $30 per cut. So every 2 weeks, that's $60 for a month. 60
Hold on,
times
I'm looking
12
this up.
is $720 a year.
Okay, so the most egregious part of this article is the host, Kai Ryssdal.
Who is obviously white.
It was suggested that Kai Ryssdal had a version of the high top fade with
Spoiler
a picture of him.
alert.
With a picture of him.
We're gonna put this. We should put this picture in the
We
newsletter.
can see you, Kai. We can see you.
and we know what a high top fade
That's
actually
not
is.
it. It's not even a version. It's
It was
not
just
even
like-
a
What is it,
distant
like the
cousin.
Macklemore?
It was like barely puffy, like on like the left quadrant.
You
of his
can't
head.
be in
That was not-
everything. Let us have
Right.
one thing.
Everything
Oh,
ain't
no.
about you.
Shout out to Marketplace though.
Right.
Usually they're on point.
This was so fun.
I enjoyed this.
Please come back again to visit. What are you working on? Where can people find you on social media? Have you created anything amazing lately that you just need people to see?
Okay. Well, I am on Twitter as 5/5. I'm on Facebook, but you'll need to find me there. Again, I am the co-founder of Seven Scribes at sevenscribes.com. We have just started the 7 on 7 podcast, where we will be interviewing experts on all different issues. And soon enough, you'll be able to find me at The Atlantic.
And that's 5/5 spelled out. 5 is spelled out, not the number, right?
FIVEFIFTHS. Do not forget the second F there.
5/5.
5/5. Yeah.
Yo, check out Seven Scribes. They're doing dope
It's so
shit.
good. And we know a lot of the writers there are all really, really smart. We promise.
It's so refreshing to find new Black media.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Also, like Black writery squads have been like a staple of like,
Black history.
hell yeah.
Blacker
to,
History Month.
To
Yeah.
bring it full circle.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yo, thanks for coming by this, dude.
It was so
Well,
fun.
thanks for having me.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
We're still doing Black History Month rounds.
Yes.
Which I'm excited about.
Yes. Blacker History Month.
Yes.
Round.
Excuse me.
Heaven, who you buying around for?
You guys, I'm so excited.
Who is it? Who is it?
I'm buying around for The Proud Family.
Mm.
An incredible show that
With a
needs
great
to.
theme song.
Okay. Ooh, let me get started. Let me get
Yes,
started.
Get into it.
It's an incredible show that needs to go down in Black history, is what I'm saying. That's my argument.
Hard agree.
Thesis. So, first of all, has the best theme song, as
Yes.
Tracy mentioned. Destiny's Child and Solange.
The Proud
The
Family.
four of them.
You and me will always be tight. Family every single day and night. Even when you start to acting like a fool, you know I'm loving every single thing you do.
And there's a really sweet video of like them when they were in, you know, the like graffiti shirts with your name on it. Solange has one of those on.
Oh, the
It's so
Airbrush
precious.
tee. We should get Airbrush t-shirts.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that
Let's
later.
bring that back. So it stars this little black girl named Penny Proud. And I just loved it because we didn't have cable growing up, but this is one of the shows they put on like Saturday mornings for us. So there's this one episode where Penny wants to play football, but they won't let her try out for the football team because she's a girl.
Episode.
And I strongly identified with that.
Did you want to play football?
Yes. When I was 13, I remember this so clearly. I really, really wanted a football, and my mom wouldn't get it because she's like, "You're a girl. Why do you need this?" I'm good at arguing. So I won that argument, and I got my football, and I felt like Penny proud. I wasn't going to try out for the boys' football team.
But you got your football.
I got my football.
So fuck these gender roles.
Yes. So what I like about the show is like she had her little squad. They had interesting names. Dijonay. When I went to LA, I realized they really played my girl La Cienega Boulevardes. Ma'am, why is your name a street?
Maybe the street was named after her.
Maybe.
Probably not.
But they also had like a crazy amount of guest stars. Mos Def was a spoken word contest judge.
Of course he was. Of course.
Mariah Carey had like a pet monkey, and like Penny's mom was like checking out the monkey. I was like, what is happening? And then there's a time where Omarion starred as 15 cents.
Oh my God.
I love this show so much. It was like, there'd be episodes where she'd be like, I'm struggling to understand my heritage. Or just like, I'd want to play football.
Yeah.
Also, there's like the one white girl in the squad.
Yeah, she had red hair and braces or something.
Yeah.
She was the one
Zoe.
woke one. Yeah.
Yes, the one woke white girl in the squad. Also, I remember recently reading a theory on the internet that the reason the Gross sisters, which are the bullies in this show, are blue is because they're ashy.
Wait,
So-
you read this where?
On the internet, of course.
Oh, and then it's true. It's on the
I
internet.
saw it on Tumblr, therefore. But like, everyone in that world has like, I would say regular skin. And then these bullies are all blue. There's no explanation
like
why.
Hair, skin, clothes, everything. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But apparently they were ashy.
How your clothes ashy though? What is,
Oh my
how you
God.
need lotion for your clothes?
A friend of mine, Doreen St. Felix, likes to say ashy's not even on the beauty spectrum. It's on the morality spectrum.
Right. It's not about looking cute.
Listen.
This is your
It's
duty
about
to your skin.
Yes. Anyways, I love the show so much. Y'all, we're going to put some links to some of the episodes. The theme song, definitely.
My favorite character from the show was the uncle.
Oh, yes.
Who only like spoke the way that Cameo sang. He was like, "Oh, y'all, going to the store, y'all." No, that's all he did. I thought it was so funny. This is not Black history as in something that happened years ago.
Okay.
I only read the story like a week ago.
Oh, that's in the
they
past.
happened in
That's
the past,
history.
right? Also, I'm pretty sure that this woman is going to go down in history as the only person to do what she's done.
Okay.
My round is for a woman named Noella Rakundo. Her story is crazy. I read about it in the Washington Post, and we will be sure to put a link to it in the newsletter because you absolutely have to read it. She's a Black woman who is living in Australia, Melbourne.
Oh, man. Pray for her.
This woman crashed her own funeral.
What?
Okay.
How do you mean?
Check this out. So her husband, Belinga Kalela, her ain't shit, no good ass husband, tried to have her killed. I think she has like 6, 7 children,
Jesus
maybe
Christ.
8. And he decided to have her killed. So he goes to these 2 dudes and he like arranges the whole thing.
Oh my God.
They kidnap her and like take her to like this random place.
Oh my God.
And they like handcuff her.
Jesus.
And let me read for you what happened then. One asked her, "You woman, what did you do for this man to pay us to kill you?" Which is a fucked up question. She responds, "What are you talking about?" And then they're like, "Belinga, her husband sent us to kill you." She thought they were lying, so she was like, "Y'all bullshitting. They wouldn't do this." And then they laugh at her. They're like, "You're a fool." Then on a telephone, there was the sound of a dial tone, and then her husband's voice was on the other line, and she could hear him say, "Kill her." Isn't that ridiculous? It says they weren't going to kill her, the men then explained. They didn't believe in killing women, and they knew her brother. So she had the familial hookup. Then they were additionally like, we don't like your husband, so we're not going to do this for him.
Ooh, yes.
Like, he's not a good man at all. But they would keep her husband's money and tell him that she was dead. After 2 days, they set her free on the side of a road, but not before giving her a cell phone, recording of their phone conversations with Kalela, and receipts for the $7,000 in Australian dollars they allegedly received in payment. So it's weird because the kidnappers are terrible people because they kidnap people and evidently like kill them too sometimes. But they were like, we don't kill women, so we're not going to kill you. Thanks. Thank you, assassin with a heart of gold. I don't know.
That sounds straight out of a movie, yo.
And this woman goes not back to her home where her husband is. She like hides out until the funeral. She doesn't contact her family. She doesn't let her kids know she's okay.
This is like J-Lo in Enough.
Right. Oh my gosh. I love that movie.
She's probably like practicing boxing.
Right. Funeral day comes. And I think she waited until like it was over and everybody was like exiting the church. And she's like standing outside by a car like, surprise, bitch. Thought you'd never see me again, didn't you? And he's like, oh my gosh, you're a ghost. You're a ghost. She's like, I'm not a ghost, fool. And like the fucked up thing about this story is that now like people are like sending her death threats for getting the police involved at all.
What?
I'm like, what was she supposed to do? Let him walk the streets so he can try to kill her again? So he can find some assassins who do not have hearts of gold?
Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But the idea of just walking into your own funeral, like you let your entire family mourn you because you had a point to prove.
Yes.
I'm not mad at all. But what I would have done, I would have like...
Tracy, you popped this through.
Absolutely. In the days leading up to the funeral, I'd have like popped up wherever he was and just like slowly walked by or like just sat in the corner and stared at him while he freaks out because he thinks he's seeing a ghost.
Oh my God. And then like disappear.
And then just leave and then just like bounce for a day.
Oh yeah.
And then come back.
She could have haunted him a little more.
She could have.
Not to critique, ma'am. You're slaying right now. But I do think
Your
you could have
funeral crashing was grade A, definitely.
You could have upped the haunting game.
Oh my gosh. So this woman is amazing. She is my Black History hero for many reasons. How you pop up at your own funeral?
I feel like there are so many stories we don't know about of women incredibly surviving. Like violence at the hands of their spouses or significant others. Where
like
they just,
incredible tales.
Yes, incredible feats. Fuck a Mount Everest climb.
Right.
These are mountains that are insurmountable.
So shout out to Noella Rakundo for crashing her own damn funeral. Black Art History Month hero.
Yes.
Heben McGee, guess what?
Sorry. That never gets old.
We did it again.
Tracy, we made it. Hey. We want to give a shout out to Vann Newkirk for rolling through. Shout out to Julianne. Shout out to Matt Belisai.
Oh my gosh, Matt freaking Belisai. Thank you for existing.
Shout out to the Pod Squad.
This podcast was produced by Eleanor Kagan with editorial oversight from Jenna Weiss-Berman, production help from Julia Furlan and Meg Kramer. Thank you to Paul Ruest at Argo Studios, and also thank you to Noriko Akabe. Music credits. Thank you to our in-house musicians, Miss Jean Gray. You can and should follow her at Jean Greasy. And Don Wheel of the almighty Tanya Morgan. You can follow him at DONWILL. Thank you to Heben McGee.
Thank you to Tracy, Vibe Vixen of the Week.
Yes.
Never gets old.
Can we upgrade it to Vibe Vixen of the Month? I feel like that would be easier.
Vibe Vixen of the Millennium.
Oh, shit.
You can follow Tracy at Brokey McPoverty.
And you can follow Heaven at Heaven Rants. That's Heaven like the place up in the sky that your mama told you about. I want to. And Rants as in the thing that old white men do all the fucking time.
Ooh,
They
nice
do be
addition.
Y'all, if you have not signed up for our newsletter yet, you should do it right now because there will often be clips and things that did not make it into the episode that we will sneak into the newsletter for you. So if you haven't signed up, go do it at BuzzFeed.com/anotherround/newsletter. Also, another thing that you can look forward to seeing in our newsletters from here on out is a Black Podcast Spotlight. Email us. You can submit your own podcast or another podcast that you like. We will need the following information to put it in the newsletter. Please grab a pencil and take notes. We will need the name of the podcast. We will need a description of or the mission statement of your podcast. Tell us how to listen to it, a website, and a link to your favorite episode of this podcast so that we can direct people to a good starting place. We've already gotten probably nearly 200 submissions, so we're basically never going to run out of Black podcasts to give you, especially if you submit. Also, check out our brother/sister podcasts.
I'm going to say sister.
Yeah, you know what? Let's center the women right now. Check
Yes.
out our sister podcast, The Tell Show, which was recently launched. Its hosts are Isaac Fitzgerald, who is dreamy, and Summer Ann Burton, who is even dreamier. And also Internet Explorer, hosted by your two favorite internet weirdos, Katie Natopoulos and Ryan Broderick. They're all really, 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 really good. And hit us on the buzz.
Hey.
Hit us on the buzz.
Hey.
Hit us on the buzz. On the motherfucking buzz.
You can find us on
got
Twitter
my
at
snaps
Facebook. No, you're
Well,
coolin'.
I try to do the church snap thing. Never mind.
It's okay,
It doesn't
Tracy.
matter.
You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Another Round. You can email us at anotherround.com if you have questions, concerns, thoughts, feedback, other things.
Love letters.
Love letters. Ooh.
Send us some love.
Rate us on iTunes if you're a fan of the show. Tell a friend, tell your mom.
If you're not a fan of the show, pray about it. Prayer
yeah,
changes
just
things.
pray God will find a
Amen.
way
Amen.
to fix what's happening.
Hallelujah. Drink some water. Ooh. Wait. I got a new floss to tell y'all about. Real quick, I'm gonna wrap it up.
Tracy, wrap it up.
Listerine Ultra Clean Floss. I don't know if it's as good as Oral-B Glide,
Oh
but
my
it's
God.
close. It's like
They're not even
elastic,
paying
sort
you
of.
for this.
I don't do this for the money. I do this because I care about y'all's gum health. Check it out. Call your mama. Take your meds. Take a walk. All right.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Obama and them. Obama and them.
Right, bombing him. If Mitt Romney does not
Mitt
have a
Romney.
high time.
That man sounds black.
Yo, he does.